for a moment, because we talk about this and think about it, and so we don't think that somehow you get the right answers always. Often you get the wrong answers, and you get the wrong answers about what's going on. The reporting is flawed if you don't do the work. And we talked about this. It was 30 days after Nixon resigned. Gerald Ford was president. You may recall Ford went on television on a Sunday morning and announced that he was giving Nixon a full pardon for Watergate. Now, he went on television early on a Sunday morning, hoping no one would notice. It was widely noticed, but not by me. I was asleep. And Carl called me and said, "Have you heard?" And I said, "I haven't heard anything." And truly...
I'll tell you what I said. I said, "Have you heard the son of a bitch pardon the son of a bitch?" He got it.
Even I was able to figure out what he was getting at. And for a long time, we thought that the pardon was dirty. Why does the guy at the top get off? There was an aroma of a deal in exchange for the presidency for a pardon. And there was the question of justice, you know, why one guy gets a pardon, 40 people go to jail, and so forth. And we pretty much absorbed that, and I think if you look at the history of that period, Gerald Ford lost to Jimmy Carter in 1976, in large part because of the pardon and the suspicion about the pardon. 25 years later, I undertook one of my book projects about the legacy. This was on the legacy of Watergate in the presidencies of Ford through Clinton. And I called Gerald Ford. I'd never met him. Had you ever met him?
Yeah.
I never met him, never talked to him. And said I wanted to come talk to him about the pardon. I was sure he would say, "I'm sorry, I've got a golf tournament and I can't talk to you." And he said, "No, fine." And I interviewed him for hours in New York, his home in Colorado, his main home in California, and had the luxury of time to get the legal memos, read all the memoirs, the contemporaneous coverage, interview everyone who was alive, going back to Ford, going back, asking Ford lots of questions, but always getting back to one question: why? Why did you do this? I remember sitting in his office in California and asking it, you know, for the 32nd time. And he said, "You keep asking that damn question." And I said, "Well, you haven't really answered it." And he said, "Okay, I'm going to tell you. What happened, Al Hay, Nixon's chief of staff, did come and offer me a deal that told me if the president resigns, he just needs to know that he will receive a pardon." He said, "I was offered that deal, but I rejected it. I pardoned Nixon, not for Nixon, not for myself, not for the political system. I pardoned Nixon for the country. We had to get beyond Watergate. If there was a further investigation, indictment, trial, jailing of Nixon, we'd have 2-3 more years of Watergate. That was unacceptable."
He also said at that time, "Our long national nightmare is over."
And so is this conversation.
We're going to overrule you and tell the moral of the story.
I'm going to get one more story. Quick. A moderator gave us a modified limited endorsement. But so they later, Kennedy's later gave Ford the Profiles in Courage Award.
The Kennedy family.
The family for pardoning Nixon. And Nixon, and Ford was there at that ceremony at the Kennedy Library beaming. And we're looking at this and remembering what we thought 25-30 years earlier, and what a very important cold shower to get, because we had it absolutely wrong
It was the right thing to do for the country, and it cost this man the presidency because he did the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen.